Treasures coming with another one called What Are You Pouring? I'm going to talk about the significance of number 2 and 5, angel number. Number 2 representing balance, harmony, loving relationships, cooperation, duality, and soul mission. Also representing partnership, equal give and take, pour equally into one another, breaking codependency, healthy decisions, mental, spiritual, and physical. The number 5 representing change, your mindset as well. It's not just change on just a basic level overall, on your mental, your spiritual, and your physical. And also a problem with is purposely holding back information, being a gatekeeper, refusing to bring clarity, watching someone fall when you have the keys, holding the truth. That is a big thing that is in our community. I know we struggle with that a lot, especially with our melanin group. It's not just our melanin group. Even as far as the elites, they hold information to keep us in cycles and illusions. As the ones that know, they know. And also, just your basic everyday person. If you have developed something in your life and you have the keys to help someone else, it's no harm in giving them the steps and stuff like that. A lot of us live in a crab in a bucket effect. You don't want to see another one doing better than what you're doing. It's not even as far as that. God bless you when you give. It's not just giving resources and things like that, giving information, helping them get to where they need to be. Causing confusion, going up against one another when it's a losing situation for both. In the end, when it comes to going up against each other, it's going to be a losing situation for both parties, because one, whoever deems themselves to be the victorious in the situation, you just develop the line of a new enemy who's always gonna, come for you, do certain things. I mean, they don't have to be that petty, but they might not wish you the best, and that also affects your manifestation as well. And also with the other person, you just allow them to build up more trauma within their self instead of giving them the keys or trying to help them get to where they need to be. And causing confusion, unnecessary confusion, that's a big thing that's done in our community. That's all worldwide. Not being straightforward, not using your mouth to speak about things that you don't like, things that you don't approve of, being truthful to yourself and others. Okay, and I said a losing situation for both, turning your back on someone in their time of need. And I don't want anybody to get this misconstrued, because my messages are, if they're not triggering you, then that means there's no change to be happening. Some people, how can I say, God designed some people to sit in their troubles in order to progress. Sometimes that's where it goes back to the confusion, causing things, purposely delaying people from getting to where they need to be. And some people just might not, I mean, turning your back on it, they don't mean necessarily providing resources as far as money, monetary things. You can provide them a helping hand, talking, and different things like that. But also, I want you to understand what I named this title, What Are You Pouring? You cannot pour from somewhere that you don't have. We need to normalize understanding that other people have situations external outside of what you're going through. They not supposed to stop their world just to, do what it is that you need them to do. That's being selfish. Especially if they have things that they haven't going on in their life. Causing storms in someone else's life. And that goes back to what I was just talking about. Stop purposely being out here, being on that revengeful type tip, trying to cause confusion and wishing bad for someone, or just causing delays because it's unnecessary. It's not progressing you, because you're going to still stay within that hatred rage that hatred part in your heart. You're going to still hold that hatred in your heart, not operating out of love. So that's, like I said, that's a lose-lose for both parties. Either way it goes, you're delaying them, causing them problems, but yet still you're not growing because you don't do things out of empathy. Transitioning, progressive, forward thinking. And that goes back to, and let me read this other part. Stop dwelling on past, stop looking back, always move forward. And that also goes back into what I was saying as far as like dwelling on things that are in past, things that transpired. The thing that we need to normalize in our community is looking forward. When you don't have, say for instance, you're in a situation that plan failed, you need to be having an A, B, and C. That's where God was talking about preparedness, being prepared for things that are here yet to come and stuff like that, because you never know what could possibly happen. Um, and also just a situation if someone hurt you in the past and stuff like that, stop dwelling on that, because that person, I guarantee that person has moved past that and they're going on with their life while you still stuck and focus on what they have caused trauma in your life. You what is needed at the time, you need to sit with yourself, go in that hermit mode and self-reflect of how did you allow that person to come in your life and cause those confusion and cause those traumas and things like that. What is it about you that allowed that person where you felt comfortable enough to be vulnerable to allow them to cause that hurt and to build traumas on you? Stop focusing on the past. Moving forward is the end goal. Always moving forward, not saying not addressing that situation. Yes, it happens, but that's when it comes to shadow work, sitting with your shadow self, and that's being your own therapist. And I even wrote that down here as far as that, mirroring back what you feel. um And that also goes into don't want to bring old traumas into the future. You're building. If you're building right now, like I said, if you keep reflecting on the past, a lot of us tend to always reflect on the past memories of the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and things like that, or what could have possibly happened if you took that direction. But God has led you into this path for a reason. God is not going to direct you where you don't need to be. Sometimes we're right where we need to be, even when it's trouble and chaos surrounding us. Sometimes there's a lesson within that for us to understand ourselves and for us to get that discipline and stuff like that. Say for instance, you're like you're having problems with job, keeping a job and stuff like that. God might put you into that situation where you'll be in survival mode, where you'll understand the power of money and how to balance it, and just finding different ways of how to get the job done. And right here, give people the gems to save their life, to protect and stand firm. Thank you before making a decision, protecting themselves from mental confusion. A lot of us act as the gatekeeper of the community. We always talk about the elites, about stuff that they withhold, but it's people of us on just on the basic level that does not want people to do better. Like I said, that comes with something that's rooted, a generational trauma, a generational curse that we have upon us. We don't want others to have the opportunity as us, and I guess it comes into fear, thinking that that person potentially could be better to take what it is that your blessing is. God has individual blessings for everybody. What is yours. So you don't have to worry about, your blessings getting stripped because you gave someone the keys. Like you have to understand that we were putting on here to show love and empathy. Put yourself in that person's shoes and see, if you were there, would you want somebody to come around and mentor you and help you to get to where you are? All it takes is a helping hand. Sometimes people don't need monetary things. They just need that talk. Some people just need a uplifting voice and different things like that. Um, and protecting yourself, standing firm on your boundaries as well, that comes into place as well. Thinking before making the decision. Some people don't have good decision making skills and stuff like that. So sometimes we do need that mentor or that guidance from an outside source to see our own self. Because sometimes when we're so blocked off from seeing ourselves, we're so used to being in that lat mind state of, say for instance, you always getting hit with obstacles back to back and stuff like that. Sometimes when those obstacles plague your mind, it fucks up your mind state, and sometimes you can't see clearly. So sometimes you need an outside external source in order to help you reflect on what's going on, or to give you a sound mind. And mindset, using your better judgment, know as your intuition, gut feeling, known as your intuition, gut feeling, balancing of your shadow and light, using what was once an enabler and turn it into positive. Make your weakness work for you, and that's as well. When it comes back to that lat mind state, we always focus on our weakness when we're in that lat mind state. When trouble comes and obstacle comes, we always go back to reverting into our shell and just think about, the worst case scenario. That's not helping you manifest. When you stay in positive energy and things like that, that's going to help you manifest and get to where you need to be. Always reflecting on things, your weaknesses and what you don't have, and the lack that you know, that the things that you don't have, that's going to keep you stuck. It's going to just keep you going in a cycle. What it does not help you thinking about things that has already transpired. If it already happened, it already happened. Well, that's what it goes back to, that forward thinking beyond that. Let your weakness become your strength. That means you just need to work on your weaknesses a little bit more and to transmit it into your strength. When you do that, then you'll become more balanced. And it said once, what was once unable, turning it into positive, making your weakness work for you, transmitting them into strengths, controlling your destiny, be the driver of your ship. That's where we sometimes we let things spiral out of control, where we lose control of our sight and stuff like that. Be the controller of your destiny. Don't let anything come into place. Rather, if you're going through an obstacle or a hard time, always think positive. And that will get you to the place that you need to. Because with you thinking positive, you're putting that good frequency out. You're putting that good aura out. And that's what makes you attract. And it said, let not any outside influence take you off your path unless they are pouring love and positivity into you. And that's also another thing right there. Be weary of the people that you surround yourself, because like I said, some people don't want the best for you. And you have to understand that. And don't judge it off of just because someone didn't do something for you right then and there. You don't know what obstacles that they're facing behind behind the scenes. They got a lot of things that they need to fix in their life. And they can't pour from an empty cup or a half of a cup. That means they're just giving you all their blessings, all their energy. They can't pour into solving your issues when they got issues going on within their self. And also, and when I say the outside influences, if it's people, just because something that you're doing is not popular, that does not mean stop it and not do it. Sometimes being the black sheep is a positive thing because you're bringing change. You're not like anybody else. You got to think about it. The things that they deem us to be weird or different about, it might be our greatest gift, because that's something that God bestowed upon us. We are all made different. We're not meant to be the same or like robots, literally. And constructive criticism is not meant to hurt you, but to promote positive growth, and also judge the soul of the soul. We're not saying judge, but look into the soul of the person that is giving you this information. What place are they coming from with this information? Is it for the betterment of your soul, or are they coming from a hurt and confused place? And it don't take rocket sciences to know if someone is coming from a hurt or confused place, because they will promote negativity, telling you ways to do things that might be easier and faster, but also it's gonna come with a backlash as well. If they're not, they telling you, like, say for instance, you're trying to solve a problem with your mate and stuff like that, and if that might be your first argument that you have with your mate, and they're just saying, "Oh, girl, I would have left him if he did that to me." It's not going off someone's own understanding. You know what relationship that y'all have together, and what boundaries y'all have, and what y'all can take and endure with each other. If it's something that's fixable, stay. But if somebody promoting negativity like that just because of traumas that they have experienced, don't let anyone project upon you as well. And constructive criticism, some people think that the way that people talk or that they address situations, some people are not going to sugarcoat things with you. I'm one of those people. I'm not going to sugarcoat things with people, because I like I said, I want people like that in my life as well, because I want somebody to keep it real with me, regardless of if it hurt my feelings or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you need your feelings hurt in order to get growth. Not saying in a negative way. Say for instance, it's a truth that you know about yourself, but you just keep on, how can I say, passing by over it, just ignoring it, when you know there's something that you need to change. And then here comes someone come along and they telling you about yourself or what they see you. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, some people ask about that to the person, and then they get mad about the information they give them or what they see or how they feel like they should go about the situation. Don't ask people if you don't want constructive criticism, because that's the only means of growth. And not attacking the person that also give you the information, because especially if you're asking them for a helping hand, do not attack them, because this is something that also might cause change. That might be the very person that God sent to you in order for you to get that change. And right here, as you heal, you unlock chakras and repress memories. You start to remember why you was designed in the first place and how important your existence is to the world. That does, like I said, all these things tying together. This is just information that I want to give y'all. Just basic things about what are you pouring into the environment. That helps, like I said, it helps with your manifestation. Having your chakras unblocked as well helps with your manifestation. A lot of people don't think about, yeah, you got to do the healing work as well. As you do the healing work and release those traumas that are unlocking different chakras and is allowing certain blessings to come in. That's also what I was talking about, ascending up Jacob's ladder. That's opening up certain chakras and levels. As we do it, our frequency rises, healing those traumas and stuff like that. And then God will give you the vision where your third, to the point that your third eye is unlocked, where you will have those dreams or those repressed memories of what you was in the past life. It can almost be a sense of like a deja vu moment. Some people have it more vividly than others, but that's just working with meditation and sitting there and healing it. It's not just that we have to do the inner work. You have to take care of your vessel as well, your mental state, because all of these things coincide. It's like the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit working together. They are one of the same. And just like our mental, spiritual, and physical health, if you want better results in anything, say for instance, I'm gonna just use one example like the root chakra. You want your that deals with the finances, stability, different things like that. Anything that's dealing with building roots. Just think about the chakra and what it's saying, building roots. Not only should you, become more disciplined in your money habits, your stability, your mental state, as far as like, even though the root chakra is dealing with finances, but as far as your mind being rooted and having boundaries and stuff like that, standing firm in those. But also you have to eat better in order for your root chakra. Like, if you want to be able to have the energy to keep progressing and to get financial opportunities, to have the energy to keep working and stuff like that, you gotta eat better, do things that uplift you to get more energy, sleep more. Like, it's just different things that coincide with each other. It's all three different things. And taking care of your mental, like I said, being rooted in what it is that you want to do, especially if it's of positive energy. And right here, also the ability to wake up the light side, having empathy for others, a nurturer, putting yourself in people's shoes, having a different perspective if that was you or your loved one. Also, and a lot of people just think about it as, oh, I'm not gonna help that person. They're not my responsibility because they're not of my family. It's not about that. God put us on earth to give love to all. You don't never know when you're entertaining an angel. It can be a homeless person on the street. You be like, oh no, they just using that money for liquor and stuff like that. That might be the very person that really need their help, but you judging them off of everybody, the same things that you have experienced. Yes, it might be people out here that's not right, but at the end of the day, you helping them, God's gonna bless you regardless. Whatever they choose to do with the help that you give them is up to them. Because at the end of the day, if they don't do right, it's gonna still put them in a bind. But if you give that blessing and with a kind heart, not just because you're looking to be blessed, because you genuinely love to do that and help people, having that empathy within yourself, putting yourself in people's shoes, and understanding that you're human. Everybody is human. Everybody has human qualities. Like I said, we're put down here on this earth to have a human experience. Yes, we have potent bloodlines. We have bloodlines that come from different ranges and stuff like that. But it's like I said, it never was about a race war. It's having empathy. It's coming together, collaborating as a world to help each other, to give them the insight to learn and stuff like that. Putting yourself in shoes that you never walked in, because your problems might not be the next person's problems, but that does not mean that you cannot have empathy and see it. You know what I'm saying? Seeing how you can help them. And that's really the key to living on this earth and to having a good life, is putting love out into the universe. Loving on yourself, setting healthy boundaries is very simple. But it's other things that you can do to get more of an advancement of a spiritual awareness about yourself. But really, it's just pretty simple. Putting that love back into the universe, you will attract more back. The law of attraction, if y'all have ever looked at that, looked into that book. It's different books about law of attraction. Okay, pouring back into others, uplifting them, being an inspiration. telling your testimony, being vulnerable, showing your human side of yourself. And I want, and that's just for all my healers, I want y'all to normalize being a human. Stop trying to put out to the collective that y'all are perfect, y'all living this perfect life when y'all have obstacles and stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Being vulnerable and showing them what it is in the situation that we live in, it helps them to understand that we are human, like we're not above them. We're with them right there. That we are humans. We go through different obstacles and different things, different challenges, just like they do. We might just be spiritually more aware, but that does not mean that we don't face obstacles and different things like that. We're humans just like y'all. We're here to have a human experience. We just have gotten to that level where we healed ourselves and we are more aware. And being more vulnerable, because a lot of these healers out here are trying to make it seem like the experience is a great experience. It takes a lot to heal yourself, to unwrite the history that you have already created, like the traumas, even back from traumas, things that you notice about your family or friends or stuff like that, that has been going on for a long time. Being the one to stand up and saying that there's a change that needs to be happened. That's the first step, accepting that there is a problem. And people that goes to therapy, I'm pretty sure they know that that is the first thing. Understanding that there is a problem. And the next step is finding a solution to create it, talking it out actually, and seeing where you went wrong. And your testimony could help someone that's going through something, like, say for instance, I'm in this hotel and stuff like that, being vulnerable and stuff, telling y'all that I'm in this state or whatever. God has blessed me to, get a place and stuff like that, and I'm going to do so in very soon. But just being vulnerable, showing y'all that even though I'm a spiritualist, I go through my struggles and things like that. But sometimes God put you where you need to be in order to help you. Like I said, it was things that I had to learn, and lessons and stuff that I had to learn about finances, being disciplined and different things like that. Um, Ridding myself of things, not being so attached to the materialistic world, because when we die, this stuff don't come to us. And if you really think about it, this stuff really don't matter. Like, their job is to promote, to get us to buy as much stuff as possible, so we'll never be focused on creating something generational wealth for ourselves. If we keep spending our money on TVs, the newest sneakers, the latest clothes, we're really going into a loop, because that overall, your heart is not going to be fulfilled or fulfilled. Those are just desires of the flesh. You're pretty much just buying and buying. It's like a temporary high. And at the end of the day, when that high runs down, you're gonna go out and get the next latest sneaker, the next biggest TV, the next lover that does not, you know what I'm saying? It's just that was where I feel like they were talking that about when they was talking about Adam and Eve, going off our own understanding, our desires. And then, like I said, even letting outside influences deter us from what the written instructions of what God told us what our life was gonna be. That's a powerful word right there, just saying that. And being vulnerable, tell your testimony, because you never know that it could be somebody going through the same thing that you're going through, and your testimony might help them and inspire them, give them that uplifted energy that they lacked. Or like, okay, if they're going through it, then I can get through it too. Just showing them a better version of themselves, just showing them that this is not the end. And right here I said act as an infection, disease, but in a positive way. When people see your aura, not and then this necessarily have to see your aura, see your positive behavior, energy and stuff like that, they're gonna gravitate to you more. Opportunities are gonna gravitate to you more. And it's almost like an infectious disease. Even like giving out information, even with people when they're sharing and stuff like that, they get to get to the next person, the next person, the next person. That's helping the masses wake up as well. Let your energy be like an infectious disease. Let it spread. Like I said, but in a positive way. Don't pour negativity out into the universe. It said raise your frequency of love, healing old wounds, being stable within your emotional state. Being the beacon of light, causing radical change by speaking the truth, being emotionally intelligent and choosing your battles wisely. And that goes to as well, not everything deserves a response. Sometimes people are put in place, they don't even know that they're being used to cause negative aspects in your life. Sometimes you got to let that roll by. It don't matter how much you want to say something. Sometimes some things don't deserve a response because you already know the outcome. You say something to them, y'all go back and forth, boom, negative energy. They messed up your whole day. And sometimes it's hard to get out that funk because you're going to always keep reoccurring in your mind like, I could have said this, I could have said that. What if I did it that way? Is this that? And then your whole day done went by just full of negativity you done poured out into the universe. And being active, emotionally intelligent, thinking, like I said, thinking before you speaking or thinking before you take an action and jump off the deep end. Is this action the right thing that I should do? Is this going to lead me to the path that I need to be? And a lot of y'all have taken, like they said, they done taken God out of everything. Consult with God, consult with your spirit team, consult with your angels and stuff like that before you actually take a leap of faith into things. And sometimes we wonder why things don't work out. Sometimes things have to fail in order for us to understand what we did wrong. And that's why I said be gentle with yourself as well during this journey, because we are down here to make mistakes, but also not continuously making mistakes, but learning from those mistakes and growing and adding that positive trait to your DNA. That's a DNA upgrade. And right here, speaking your truth and stop holding back your tongue. But the tongue has power, so be careful on the words that you say. If it's not coming from a loving place, no matter the deliverance, it's not right. And that goes to a lot of us are shy about saying what we want to say because we don't want any conflict. We don't want any troubles to come our way and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. Sometimes you have to speak those things because if you don't, it will not be no change. And sometimes, like I said, speaking it out, that's going to relieve those traumas that are within you. And that's going to help be the start of your journey of setting healthy boundaries. And like I said, and when you talk to people, even if you're talking, how can I say, is aggressive and straightforward, not aggressive in a bad way, like, oh, you this and that, like stuff like that, but being assertive, that's the word I'm looking for. Being assertive and standing on what you're saying. That can help, and that's where it comes back to the constructive criticism. Sometimes you need to be able to say what it is that you need to, because sometimes people need that because they will never change from that situation if you never said it that way. But also putting love into it and understanding that also there's different levels. Some people you have to cater to certain people a different way. Some people are more soft-hearted. Some people are more hard-headed. You know which deliverance that needs to be, and that's being emotionally intelligent of the way that you'll be able to deliver it to them. If you're doing out of hatred because that's something that you've been holding on your heart and you've been wanting to say it to that person, don't hold and wait until they're going through something or something happens where like, oh, this is my opportunity to beat them down some more. They do not need that. Wait. If you have a problem, it's pretty much, if you feel like it's a problem that's hurting you, or say for instance it's a friend that you've been having a quarrel with for a long time, and it's time for you to just put it out on the table. Y'all need to have that conversation, be adult enough to sit down and have a conversation. Whatever their response is what it is. If they don't respond in a positive way, maybe there's somebody that God needs you to remove out your life, because the only thing they're doing, their mindset is not at the level that it needs to be to understand your deliverance and the message that you're giving them, and how that they're hurting you or causing trauma. Right here, God shall make your cup overflow with blessings. You can't pour from an empty cup. Make sure you practice self-love before loving on others. You give away your blessings and energy. Normalize breaking away from people who is codependent on your energy and blessings. When you are balanced, you can pour into others without feeling depleted. Pour positive energy. And that's why I said just taking care of yourself and your vessel, making sure that your ducks are in a row before you can help somebody. That's not saying be a gatekeeper and hold information. Tell them the stuff that they need to do to get to where they need to be. But you don't have to pour out your blessings, giving them monetary help all the time. And that goes right here where I said that doesn't mean help with money always. Show them the resources. Help them rebuild themselves. Pour positive energy. Speak positive energy into their life and pray for them. Only when you're in a good energy, don't want to project your thoughts, your words and actions manifest in reality. The key to manifestation is 369, body, mental, and spirit. And I'm going to the next part. It said, stop focusing on the physical so much. Allow things to flow as they should. Take a moment and look up and appreciate what you have and the milestones you have overcome. That's why I said being gentle with yourself. Stop being in comparison of something another person garden is flourishing. It's maybe not your season to get blessed because God still got some lesson that you need to understand. And we as human beings, we desire other things that other people have, but that's not your path. I don't sit there and desire other people's stuff because I don't know where they had to go to get there, and I might not be strong enough to fight the battles that they fought, and vice versa. They might not be strong enough to fight the battles that I had to endure. Our life is our life of our own. We have different soul missions. Before we came down here, we signed a contract that we were strong enough to do these things. We shouldn't be on earth, and that's what the number one killer of us desires. Desires is the downfall of humanity, literally. Stop, and then too, a lot of people stop watering someone else's garden when you don't even have the seeds and the water to pour into your own garden. You got to stop that. I know y'all love to help your friends and stuff like that, but when it comes circling around, then you be wondering why they haven't helped you, because you know what I'm saying? They needed your help during that time, but I mean, you're not supposed to be expecting no blessing, but you have to build your own stability. You can't pour into somebody else's garden, and then when there's flourishing, you expecting a blessing from them. That's not how it works. Work on yours, prepare yourself, self-care and self-love. Take care of yourself and your needs first, and then you will be able, and God will allow you and bless you and get you to that point where you can actually pour into that person and bless them. And also, not just worrying about the stuff that you don't have. Looking back at your life and how far you have come, what milestones have you overcome? Think about the things that you have accomplished. Let that be the sounding alarm for you. That strength, that reserve strength that you have in the back of your mind, or that you have bottled up. Let that be your reserve strength in order to, how can I say, uplift yourself. You have come far. You're not the person that you was 10 years ago, or 5 years ago rather than, or yesterday. Look at that. And like I said, be gentle with yourself as you are transitioning to the next phase. Stop comparing your situation to others. Time doesn't exist. And that's exactly right. When time does not exist. They might have their blessings during that moment, and you might get your blessings at a different moment, because that's when those blessings are allowed to come in, because you finally did what it is that God needed you to do or see. Time doesn't exist, and when we realize that, you will become limitless. Always reflect on your thoughts and actions, and people heal at a different rate. Some people heal quicker than others because they wake up and be like, "Oh, I'm tired of this," and they really have that desire to be able to, push forward. It's just your levels of strength. But you will become limitless. Always reflect on your thoughts and actions and words. This will allow you to become your own therapist. If you're not at at a phase, find a trusted person so they can help you mirror back to you your thoughts and actions and words for clarity. Sometimes we need a mediator in order for us to be able to see ourselves for us. It's hard sometimes looking in the mirror and seeing the things about ourselves that we don't really want to see, that we push to the back burner. But God, you wonder why God keep bringing that situation back up, because he wants you to see that. He wants you to fix that within yourself, because that could be the very thing that's blocking you from getting that blessing. He wants to bless you, but he can't do that without you learning your lesson, because what if you receive that blessing, you're going to mishandle it. This journey is about self-discovery. Never be afraid to ask for help. Many people have shied away from that because of betrayals. Never be afraid to ask for help. God just need you to see those energies you surrounding yourself around. Was it genuine? Don't let betrayal change your nature, but allow growth. And that's something I want to speak on heavy. A lot of people have shied away from asking for help because there are not a lot of genuine people out here. They give you help and then turn around and talk about you behind your back. But don't let that stop you from, asking for help for anybody. And don't be ashamed of your situation, because everybody goes through something, and don't let nobody judge you just because you're going through something at that current moment, because everybody goes through something. Some people just hide it better than others. Some people pretend and brush it off because they have not did the inner work, but they act like their life is perfect. Not nobody on this earth life is perfect. We are designed in that way to be different, and there's a path. There's going to be obstacles in our path regardless. And don't let nobody make you feel down about the stuff that you're going through, because sometimes that be the very thing that God needs you to go through for those people to disperse and for you to see the energies that are around you as well. This journey is definitely about self-discovery. This discovering your strengths, your weaknesses, your how can I say, your mental health that need to be fixed, your physical and spiritual health. It's different aspects about that you need to understand about yourself. This journey is about self-discovery. And asking for help, that will knock out the pride. Pride comes before the fall. Are you going to be so prideful that you don't ask for help, that you will allow yourself to fall? You got to think about that. Sometimes you got to put pride aside and ask for the help, because sometimes that is what's needed. And like I said, this is just a segment on things that I wanted to talk about, and saying, what are you pouring into the environment? What are you pouring? And just ask yourself in the you can start with that, doing the shadow work, asking yourself, what are you pouring into the environment? List like 10 things and ask yourself, what are you pouring into the environment? List 10 positive things that you are pouring into the environment, and then list 10 things that you feel that could be changed, like things that are more less, how can I say, where you operate in the shadow, your negative aspects, well, I would say your weaknesses, and see what it is that you can do to upgrade those and to change the aspect about yourself. I'm Amazonia Treasure, and that's all that I have for y'all, and I hope y'all have a blessed day.